Done? Study well, really it happens. This is completely a medical part of biology where you are going to learn many special aspects. And from me, surely a better touch you will be getting up. This is chapter number 8, Human Health and Diseases. Today's part is going to be a very controlled particular part regarding various aspects in a generalized manner. I'm going to make it up about very generalized aspect. I'm going to go up about in this particular chapter where what is mean by disease and etc. that we are going to learn it up. Okay, Arpita is asking, can we get the answers to cross check? You will be getting the answers if all these 224 students who are attending up about the classes, everybody's assignment, if it reaches to the concerned sir, then you are going to get up about the answers, else no. Coming up, regarding this up about the chapter number 8, Human Health and Diseases. Theory examination, PUC2 board examination, this particular chapter is going to have up about the weightage coming to be up about 9 marks. 9 marks is the weightage of this chapter for your theory examination. You will be getting one question on 5 marks. You will be getting it up about 2 marks, one question, and you will get up about 2 questions of 1 mark each. But I have also seen this chapter, they have asked a 1 mark, 1 question, 3 marks, 1 question, and 5 marks, 1 question also. So altogether, you understand the weightage of this chapter is 9 marks. Coming down to be up about the NEET examination. In the NEET examination, this chapter is going to have a weightage of minimum 3 questions. 3 questions are going to be the weightage in the NEET examination. It's a very, very interesting chapter. Almost around some 40%, 30% syllabus is slightly on a higher level. But the other remaining part which is there is a detail of a classical biology, which actually in the MBBS also you people are going to learn it. The same type is been actually been presented. So considering that, I feel we can begin down up about our today's particular session, which has been present. Sure, let's begin up. Once again, never forget, have the habit of highlighting the text of all important terms in NCERT. For this chapter, students, the difficult area which I said now, except that difficult area, everything comes from NCERT. Everything is everything from NCERT. Line by line, they will use it. They will ask you correct, incorrect statement, match the column, etc. So please, now you may be having NCERT textbook with you very easily. Take the highlighters, the way I will be teaching, that time only try to mark it up. If not, later also you can do so. But now, most important part is understanding it. Humor. What is this humor? When we start up about the class now, we will come up with a word called humor. Humor means a good state of mind. Means if our mind is pleasant, we will be happy. If our mind is pleasant, then we feel that we are more healthy. It means that we are having full energy. It means that we don't have any diseases. Is it? When a person is happy, when a person good state of mind is been present, he consider himself as I'm really healthy. Humor. Humor means a good state of mind to be happier. That you people have to remember it up. Done? Chalo. So have a marking habit in the same way as I have been shown to you. Is it clear? Chalo. Humor hypothesis. It states that there is always a link between humor and health. Hippocrates was the person who said that if a person is having a good humor, then surely about his health is always good. So he said that there should be certain connection between the humor as well as health. So Hippocrates thought that the persons with black bile belong to hot personality and would have about the fevers. Would have the fever. Now, what is mean by black bile, students? What do you mean by this? What is mean by black bile? Any particular guess, students? What is mean by black bile? Don't look at the Google and say me up about the answer. You should give me up about the answer. Anyone? Anything? Okay, some are saying sad, unhealthy, unhygienic, a person whose body remain always hot or with fever. That is a symptom, Nisarga. That is a symptom. But I can say up about black bile refers to whatever good things are there in our body that is getting disturbed. Means say up about mentally we are not perfect, otherwise we are feeling less of energy, otherwise we are feeling sadness, otherwise we are saying that our mood is not there, otherwise we can say it up about some or the other problem is happening up about in my body. That is commonly called as black bile. Means he said the persons who is not having good humor, who is not having good humor, he is become negative. So he said it should be called black bile. And person who will have black bile, they will be more up about aggressive. They'll be having up about negativeness thought running up in their body. And this leads to up about the mental disturbance. And very soon that may result in fever also, because it's a riskier situation they are feeling it up about something like it is a dangerous situations, tension has been there, and that causes about the fever. This is how Hippocrates considered that there is always a relationship between a humor and the health. So a person who is having a good sense of mind, he is very very happy, he's always up about interacting with the people, and he's feeling his image in the society is also good, then always about his health is also good. This is what Hippocrates had been said it. William Harvey later disproved this good humor hypothesis. You know William Harvey is who? He is the father of blood circulation. He said later in the 18th century that no, there is never a relation between a good humor hypothesis and the health. And he demonstrated that there exists certain body temperature in persons with black bile or without black bile. Means whether you take up about any normal person, his body temperature will be 36.8, and when his fever is there, that is 36.9 to 36.7, 36.9 to 37 degrees. Means every person is having certain body temperature present. During the fever, it is slightly increasing. So William Harvey says it's not up about always a state of mind or humor. You say that it is linked up with the health. There should be certain other parameters which is deciding up about the disturbance in the health. Today we know that the causes for disturbance in the health can be certain pathogenic attacks also. Pathogens like COVID is running up around. Now rainy seasons are running up, flood situations are there. So this flood situations also can cause up about certain different types of pathogenic diseases coming up around. Students, be aware up about regarding this. Do not drink up any unhealthy particular water, neither eat up anything at the roadsides. It's a very very dangerous situations towards a flood. Be careful, drink hot water, otherwise better it about very properly filtered water. Okay, so William Harvey was the person who said that there is no link between good humor and the health. Let's go further. Sure. Health. Question arises, how do we define a health? How we define a health? Health is now to be considered as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. If you feel your physical ability, your body is very good particular muscles, I'm feeling it, proud of my particular body shape and etc. Then mentally also you will be very sound because you do not have any tensions. You are feeling that my image is also good now into the society. Social well-being is wherever you go, people speaks with you. There will be some people who will see that, are yaar, why always my friend only will get about the more weightage, why I'm not getting it up. I'm also equally good. I'm also doing studies. That particular thinking, when you start now, then mentally you will get up disturbed, and that releases certain wrong hormones in your body, which results in disturbance in the health. So any person says, if I'm physically good, mentally good, socially good, then my health is very good, provided there is no pathogenic attacks in the body. That is the definition of health. Good health can be also maintained by balanced diet. Every time you have up about the food, 6 particular taste having foods you people need to consume it. It may be it's a combination of sweet, saltiness, spiciness, bitter taste, correct, and some combination of many particular all these tastes together like sour and other. If any person is having about all these types of food, then your brain will be much activated. He will feel, yes, it's everything good. Plus, a food should also contain a balanced mineral supplements. It should have proteins, it should have carbohydrates and lipids. Carbohydrates should be 60%, 20% should be lipids, 20% should be proteins. That is a complete particular balanced diet. Mineral supplements, vitamin supplements are essential. Personal hygiene. As COVID is running, every time the government says, whenever you come from outside, keep continuously cleaning your hands with the soaps properly for at least 20 seconds. That maintains up about your hygiene. Similarly, at the same time, if you have gone out and come in a public areas, better you need to have up about a hot bath. This keeps up about you hygienic. Regular exercises, this is very important, though because of this COVID and rains we are unable to go out, but at least about we should try that some yoga or some particular dance or maybe certain sport in the indoor itself. We can we can just make it up some exercises. This always keeps up more energetic. Vaccination, this is what the government of every country is now saying it. COVID vaccinations compulsory very soon. Here also many students might have taken the vaccine. If not, in the coming times vaccinations will come, surely you can take it. Vaccination against very infectious diseases is going to make your body more developed, so that in the future your body will be ready enough to fight with the dangerous pathogens. What is vaccines and other, in this chapter we are surely going to learn it up. Proper disposal of the waste. It does not mean that in your house whatever waste is there you should dump it up on the roadside or the beside your house, saying that that plot does not belong to us. No, wherever you dump, these are the breeding grounds for certain rats, certain flies, certain mosquitoes, and they will become vector agent to transfer the pathogens from that area in your house, in beside house also. So proper disposal of the waste, government has showing up about a very good steps from many years, where people are coming from municipality, people will come, they will carry up about the waste and they will just dump it at a proper areas. That particular step is very essential. Control of vectors, it's a duty of government as well as us. Please try to see wherever is there, don't allow the water to stand, because wherever water stands, there up about the mosquitoes, flies will lay the eggs and their number increases. These mosquitoes and flies are the agent. Agent is called vector, who will transfer the pathogens towards human habitat, which is very dangerous. So control of that. Maintenance of hygienic food, never eat up outside. Looking at that, my taste buds are getting activated. I want to eat pani puri, bhel, etc. Please avoid it. This is not the proper time now. So maintenance of hygienic food in the house, properly prepare, eat hot food, fresh food. That is always good. Proper water, purified water. Otherwise, the water you can just boil it up for 20 minutes in the boiling conditions. Then later you can cool it and you can drink it up. That's always a better one. This is how a proper health can be maintained. Any doubts, any questions in regards to this understanding, please, students, you can ask me. Any doubts and difficulties? Are all there? Slowly we will enter into this chapter, student. There is going to be very high level syllabus going to be present, but things should be made up very simply, very slowly, then only we can develop it out. Okay, no problems. Shall let's begin up with the further aspects. I'm bringing the nice slides up about once again so that you people should make it up good. Akash is asking how exercises will make up about our body healthy. Don't exercise. After some days, you will understand what happens with exercise and what. So there is no need that I should explain it up. Everybody knows it up about in this world. Exercises makes up about your muscles to get a good contraction and relaxation. So your flexibility increases. It will elevate your mood. Just do up about exercises. One day you will understand about the well-being. You will be feeling it up. Your state of mind becomes more positive. That's only up about the program. There is no need to say any other things. Shall go. Let's move further. Now coming up, we understood how health can be maintained, but how health can be affected. How health can be affected. These are three reasons. Infections can disturb our health. Genetic disorders. Can you recall last chapter in genetics we have discussed if any gene has gone mutated, then due to that unhealthy or say up about due to that defective gene, person suffers with various disorders like sickle cell anemia, hemophilia, thalassemia, many other. Even chromosomal disorders we have come across. Third is lifestyle, the way we lead the lifestyle. We say, nothing will happen here for us. Why we need to take a bath daily? The way our lifestyle is, eating anywhere, anytime, feeling that nothing will happen. By that, we will become about more stronger and other. Nothing such. If that was very true, then can you recall in this COVID situation of the second wave, many people from the villages have expired. They were very healthy. Still they lost their lives. It does not mean about the immunity here. I mean to say our lifestyles, what we lead up, we are welcoming up about the infections, eating more oily food, eating up about more spiciness, masaledar things, eating up outside eateries without understanding the infections areas. That only will make us up about disturbing in the health. 3 points. How health can be affected: infections, genetic disorders, lifestyle. Let's move further. Okay, some words I'm using it about new students, but that you have to learn because you are going to enter into MBBS. You are going to be very soon about the doctors, and for that you people need to know certain terms. Etiology. Etiology is study of causes of the disease. Like suppose COVID is there, then government and the experts will study how COVID happens, which is the pathogen, how it will attack, means a mode of transport. This is all the study of causes of the disease is called etiology. Pathophobia, irrational fear of the disease. Some people will feel up about so extra cautious that when I say that you people have to take care and other, they become so much cautious that they feel that the world is ended. Yeah, if you don't wash your hands and other, surely you will die. Or if I die, what will happen? This is all the irrational fear they are having. So they will be so extra caution they will be taking it that their immunity again becomes weaker. So we should not be that much also doing neither up about saying that no, we don't do it also. No, there should be a balanced part. How much is required, that much itself. So irrational fear, extra fear up about of a disease is called pathophobia. Phobia, fear, pathophobia towards pathological means disease area. Done. I'll be moving further. Epidemiology. What is epidemiology? The branch of medical science that studies the distribution of disease in human populations and the factors that determine the distribution, chiefly by use of statistics. Like now government will be doing now in India, okay, so many people are getting up about the infections of COVID, so many are getting treated, so many have died, so many have recovered. So what is the population of India? It is somewhere around 139 crores. Out of that, how many have got up infected? So in based on percentage, we calculate this much particular population size has got up affected. Maximum people are recovered, means it's not that particular dangerous then. This is how about they will be calculating it. So this branch of biology, this branch of medical science is called epidemiology. These three terms, please get it perfect. Let's move further. Epidemic means whenever any particular disease spreads up very fast it spreads and attacks many particular individuals, then we call epidemic. And pandemic means it is out of control, means that results in large amount of death there. Then it's called pandemic. Epidemic, pandemic. Done? Can I go next? Shall let's move up about further. Still a big way to go with. Hope you will be liking up about the new way of presentations, the way of topic, that way presentations. Okay, chalo. Diseases. What is diseases? Any condition which interferes with the normal functioning of the body and causes disorder of the mind or body is called diseases. Say up about a COVID, because that is a fresh news, right? Because of which you and we are away from each other. Anytime a person gets up about a coronavirus attack in the body, you know about what does it happen. It starts making the fever, headache will be coming, sore throat. They will be having up about the cough and cold. And if it is not controlled up about, then pneumonia like condition goes on happening into the lungs. And this all is disturbing the state of physical activity, mental activity, and as a result, we call the condition as disease, because they will interfere with our normal metabolic activities. So any condition which interferes with normal functioning of the body and causes the disorders of the mind or body is now to be called a disease. Malfunctioning of the body with specific symptoms also can be called as disease. Now, suppose a person's lungs has got up affected, then he's unable to do a proper breathing. He's feeling up a restlessness, he's feeling less energy. So our body functions has got up disturbed, malfunctioning, it has got failed. And because of that, some symptoms we are able to see, like breathlessness problem and etc. This is now to be called as disease. I am giving one example. Depending on the type of disease, different will be there. Like suppose a person gets up about ringworm disease, DAD, what do we say it? Means continuously skin will be getting it about rashes and we'll be getting a burning sensation, we'll be getting itching also. So these are all symptoms, but because of that, it has been disturbed up about our normal skin functioning. So these symptoms have been seen. That's a disease. So depending on the type of disease, different particular malfunctioning will happen, different symptoms will be coming up. The disease can be totally classified into two types: congenital diseases and acquired diseases. We will be learning one by one regarding the same. Take the photograph. Let's move further. Chalo. We are having now up about the further part, which is human diseases. As I've just said, human diseases can be classified into two types: congenital disease. Can you see? Congenital disease and acquired disease. Congenital disease also can be called as genetic diseases, genetic disorders. Now I'm not going to teach that, because in chapter of genetics, principles of inheritance and variations, we people have already learned genetic diseases. Is it true? Disorders. Why disorders? Because it cannot be treated. Correct. Permanent treatment is not possible because every cell is having the defective gene. So that is genetic disorders. But today onwards, we are going to learn this chapter regarding acquired diseases. Means those diseases which may be because of certain infections, or maybe because of certain disturbance in our food or the substances which we take it in our body. Okay, that is called acquired. Means we are welcoming it to come in our body. This is called acquired diseases. Means either we are welcoming our body, saying that take some pathogens in the body, then I will call infectious disease. Or sometime about pathogens are not coming, but wrong food eating, or wrong, our body is exposed to the wrong atmosphere. Because of that, we may be getting it. So these are of two types. Infectious disease can be again classified further into contagious, non-contagious. Please tell me, students, is coronavirus coming under non-contagious or contagious? Can anyone reply me? Is it contagious or non-contagious? Yes, it's contagious, because once a person gets it, suddenly up about nearby him, whoever is there, surely they will get about this infection, provided they have not weared up about the mask. So sanitizations is very, very compulsory. So contagious disease means those diseases which spread from one person to another person quickly. One person to another person quickly, we call contagious disease. Okay, it may be about typhoid, it may be about dengue, chikungunya, corona. These all are contagious diseases. Non-contagious diseases, something like, I will take the word AIDS. Because AIDS which has been there, just by standing up beside to that person, it is never going to spread, students. Yes or not? Eating up along with up about that person never spreads up about. For the spread, there is requirement of some blood or some body fluids to get up exchanged. Then I will call it as non-contagious disease. So any diseases which spreads easily, like common cold also, normal sardi will be getting, that's a contagious disease. But AIDS I can classify under non-contagious. One example you can recall it. Coming up, non-infectious. What I said, non-infectious, because of wrong exposure of our body to certain areas. Otherwise, some wrong substances taken up inside our body, or not taking up about certain required substances, then also I will call non-infectious. Like example, allergy. I will start from bottom, allergy. Some people are having certain disturbance in their body if they take certain substances on their body type. What is this certain? So many times you said, sir. It's simple. There will be certain people who apply some cosmetic creams and other on their body part, and due to which rashes they will be developing, redness, itching and other. That's allergic part. Few people, when they cross up about from the non-vegetarian zone areas, maybe up about some fish markets, maybe about mutton markets, that smell suddenly makes up vomiting like sensations. Every people are allergic to some or the other things. Like example, if you're cleaning up about your house, dusting the house, correct, Preeti? Dust which has been there, suddenly sneezing will start. Pets are there. Pets like cats, dogs, their particular dander means the hairs and other that will cause up certain times some reactions in your body, wrong reactions. That's called allergic reactions. Few people take up certain medicines and due to which they will feel certain redness on their skin, maybe up about some disturbances. That's an allergy towards that particular medicines. So exposure of the body towards a wrong substances is towards allergy. Mentally, person is taking unnecessary tensions, unnecessary tensions. Maybe there are certain reasons, but it's not so bigger. So tensions disturbs the mental part. Correct. Similarly, up about depressions which are there. Correct. Depressions which people feel ki, there is no importance of me in the society, I need not survive like this, blah blah, they will be speaking. The depressions which are there also disturbs up about their health. Is it that people have themselves acquired it? Now, what was the needs, what was the reason here to take up about such tensions, undergoing up about depressions? Deficiency. People feel that if I eat up 3 times food, no, that is sufficient. Now what again I require it? No, whatever you eat, balanced diet is required. Proper minerals like calcium, iron, zinc, iodine, apart from that, etc. Many magnesium, etc. So many elements are there in proper quantity required. Apart from that, vitamin supplements are required because vitamin supplements make up certain enzyme activities. So all the vitamin complexes, vitamin A, B, C, D, all etc. are being required. So if they are not consumed, then body suffers with deficiency disorders. Fourth, degenerative. As the age has been going up, some of the body systems will start getting failed. Like some people who get up about their cartilage getting damaged between the two joints, means the joints which are there of our bones, their cartilage will be there. If that cartilage is getting damaged, they suffer with joint pains, arthritis we call for that. Some people will get up about nerve cells getting up about damage on its own because of aging phenomena. Then they will suffer with the problems like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease. Okay, these are some of the problems which are there. So I will call it as degenerative disease. Heart becoming weaker as the age will develop. Immunity becomes weaker. That is also a degenerative disease. These are non-infectious. If a person is having about depression, it does not mean that beside a person who is sitting, he will also get that particular mental problem. And never it happens. Na? So I call non-infectious because this is not related to pathogen. Remember, infectious means which happens due to certain pathogens. And non-infectious is not related with any pathogens. Cancer. We are going to learn in this chapter cancer, one big class we are going to have, 1 or 2 classes. Cancers. What is cancers? Cancer is a wrong activation of certain genes in our cells. And when it happens, they will just do division, continuous cell division they will go. And as a result, they will say that I won't perform the actions for which I am present in the body. Like say example, pancreas. The pancreas cell says that today onwards, I will just divide. I won't give any enzymes. I won't do any job here of your body. Means they have gone under strike. The condition is called cancer. So uncontrolled growth of certain body parts resulting in failure of functioning of that organ is now to be called as cancers. Cancer also does not spread from one person to another. If a person has got cancer and if you are handling them without any particular gloves, mask also, okay, that will not spread. So cancer, degenerative disease, deficiency, mental problem, allergic problem never passes from one person to another. Infectious disease which are there, non-contagious, also does not spread from one person to another person easily. only contagious disease will spread up very fast. Yes, Vikas has been saying, sir, communicable and contagious. Contagious disease itself is called communicable disease, and non-contagious disease is itself called non-communicable disease. In the school, you might have used up about this language. Is it true? Same thing. Done? Hope you have understood this big classification which I said. So one thing, which is most dangerous, students, among the following in acquired diseases? Which is most dangerous now? Can anybody say it? Which is most dangerous? No, Preeti. No, everyone is saying cancer is more dangerous. No, contagious disease is most dangerous. That is the reason when many people were suffering with cancer, government did not do lockdown. Government is doing the lockdown when contagious disease like COVID is spreading across. So the most dangerous is contagious. Contagious diseases can result in epidemic, can result in pandemic also. Anupama is asking, can cancer get transferred from one generation to another? No is the answer. In 99.8% areas, never it is transferred. Done? Have you understood? Chalo, let's move up about further. Disease causing agents now. Disease causing agents. Any factor, substance, or any force that causes a disease by its presence, its absence, deficiency, or maybe in excess quantity, then I will call that factor as disease causing agent. Each one point I shall say, its presence. Coronavirus entering in the body causes disease. Absence. Absence means what? If certain proteins are not present in our body, genetic disorders will happen. Again, we can say deficiency. A person is eating up about the food, but in good quantity, proteins, minerals are not consumed. Then I will call deficiency. If person does not take only vitamins, then I will say absence results in disease. But if a person is eating, but in less quantity, that is not sufficient to the body, then also excess. Some people will be taking up about unrequired substances in a large quantity, something like alcohol consumption, drugs, afim, ganja, etc., all that dangerous drugs, which is not required in excess quantity. Some people will drink up large amount of tea and coffee. Some people eat up more amount of non-vegetarian foods. Excess quantity also can disturb up about the health. Those all factors which will disturb up about our normal functioning of the body, those are called disease causing agents. Then, Rashmi, we are going to learn all that. You know, in this chapter, you are going to learn up also regarding different types of drugs, alcohols, smoking, how does it impact our body? That everything we are going to learn. Kavya is asking, sir, drinking more water also causes disease. I won't answer this question, but I will say only one thing to you students. Anything consumed in average quantity is good for the health. If you eat more, or if you take that quantity more, it is dangerous. If you take less also, you will suffer with deficiency. If you take more excess it also suffers with certain problems. Not only water, any food also. So anything should be taken in a controlled quantity. Your brain should say, are enough now. I may eat more, I may drink more, but no, I will take only this much. This, if you take a decision, then everything is okay. So types of disease causing agents: physical agents, chemical agents, mechanical agents, nutritional agents, biological agents. Physical agents like certain, I can say, radiations which are there. Okay, physical agent means certain radiations which are coming on the body that may damage up about, or that may cause some diseases. Nutritional agents. Nutritional agents means taking about more animal proteins in the body, more non-vegetarian foods. Protein is required, but people are eating more, so that may cause a problem. Chemical agents, taking up about certain tobacco smoke, or maybe about alcohol consumption, or drugs which are been there, heroin, ganja, etc. All that. Biological agents, certain pathogens, bacterial, fungus, viral, protozoan. Mechanical agents, certain heat radiations. Okay, these all the things are called disease causing agents. Okay, remember students, each slide which is there makes up about one question and answer, especially into the examination. Hope you're not getting bored, students. Yeah, pollen grains also. Some people, not all. Okay, and remember, student, this chapter is now, it's like an MBBS part. Everything about me, you will enjoy it at the time I will come up about slowly further things in this chapter. And immunity which is there, how our body's defense system works, how does it identify a pathogen uniquely, how vaccination works. It's very, very interesting particular sections. Okay, so you need to attend the classes regularly with this full strength. Say up your friends who are not attending, do attend about the classes, as sir has already said in the last week to you in the meeting. Whoever will be staying in the live classes, they will be retained into a separate divisions compared to those people who are attending YouTube classes. That you people have to realize it. Okay, chalo. Physical agents. Now, all those agents which I've shown you here now, this one in a detail, I will be teaching it to you. Okay. Physical agents, temperature, pressure, humidity, radiations, and sound. You know, some people, when the temperature goes very high, very low, they will feel up about my health is getting disturbed. It's one of the factor. Pressure. Pressure does not say tension. Pressure, I mean to say up about whenever a person dives into the water, you know, oceans, sea divers will be there. Pressure of the water increases, and that becomes up about much dangerous in the survival part. If a person goes up at the Mount Everest, the pressure of oxygen is so lesser that respiring becomes difficult. Hence, at high altitude, many people suffer with altitude sickness. You people might recall in the first year we have discussed of this. Humidity. What is humidity? Water content in the atmosphere. Less humidity, it means dry environment. More humidity means rainy seasons, 100% humidity, what we say. Humidity decides up about the health in our body. More humidity, that is rainy season, our body suffers with infections, because that is a breeding grounds, that is a growing areas for many pathogens. Less humidity, chilled atmosphere, you know, our skin will become about more rough, dry, that again disturbs it. So the good conditions is summer season, but that time temperature will be having a problem. So all the things in a controlled manner, if it is there, then surely our health is going to be ideal. Radiations, alpha rays, beta rays, gamma rays, UV rays, X-rays, coming up more on the body also can damage. They can result in mutations in our cells that might give up about the dangerous problems. Sound. Many people are allergic like to the sound. More sound, they feel irritated. Yeah, it's irritating. So sound in an audible frequency, if it is taken, then it's very good. Otherwise, it will damage up about their ear. It may get up about some harmful things, especially into their brain, and thereby disturbing up about the health lifelong. Correct? So which are the 5 physical agents that I have given up the list? One at a time, simply we will be understanding it up. Okay? Next, chemical agents. 2 types of chemical agents I can classify it up. Endogenous chemical. What is endogenous? Those substances which are there inside the body naturally, but now they can cause up certain problems like hormones prepared by ourselves, enzymes also, urea, uric acid. I will give a certain example. Endogenous chemical. Our pancreas beta cells of islet of Langerhans prepares up about a hormone named insulin, which will do up about a proper mobilization of the glucose, so that in our blood glucose concentration will be ideal. So we are called normal people. Any deficiency in this insulin hormone, less concentration of insulin, is called deficiency. Results in non-conversion of glucose into glycogen. So our blood glucose level increases, which results in diabetes mellitus, sugar diabetes. Like this, the first year, last chapter, many hormones you people have learned: hyposecretion, less concentration; hypersecretion, more concentration. How problem happens up into the body. Those are called endogenous chemical problems. Similarly, enzymes. You have learned about phenylketonuria. If that enzyme was absent, what happened that you have seen? Clotting factors, when it was absent, you have seen hemophilia, all this. Uric acid. There is certain problems of uric acid. Uric acid is a waste metabolic product prepared in our body. This uric acid concentration, if it increases into the blood, it will go and stay between the 2 joints. Then crackling sound will start coming, especially from the joint. So joint pains, it will increase. This is all the types of problems, endogenous chemicals related. Exogenous chemicals. Sometimes certain chemical from outside will enter in our body. Naturally, they might have entered, or we might have taken it. Naturally, pollutants like dust, fumes, smell, bad smell. Contaminants, we are eating the food, but the people, in order to make a money, they have added about wrong chemicals into that. Contaminants we call it, like food, in food they add up, in milk they add, water, etc. Is it like some insecticide, pesticidal chemical mixing is there, and many other adulteration, what you have learned in the school, the same thing. Due to that, those chemical agents causes certain problem. It may be people taking up alcohols, it may be people taking up about certain obnoxious smell or smoke, something like tobacco, etc. Everything comes under chemical. Me simply saying, those chemicals which are naturally present in our body, their deficiency, less concentration, or more concentration, can disturb the health. And exogenous, from outside, some chemicals are being added in our body. Due to the presence of that chemical, body health will get disturbed. Then we call exogenous. Exo means outside. From outside they have come. Okay, are you taking the photograph now, students? See, this is more theoretical, so I'm not writing up anything. Wherever it required, surely you know, I will be the first to write up about on the page, but there is not required. Okay, just properly understand, enjoy about the process. Yes, everything, wherever adulteration, you know that word. Mechanical agents. Mechanical agent, the forces which comes on our body due to which our body suffers with certain injury. Sprain means the muscle problem, muscle twitching, what we say, due to which we are unable to move. Fracture, bone damage, or dislocation, bone wherever it was there, its place has got up changed due to certain injury. These are called mechanical agents of disturbing the health. Okay, so the forces which result in injury, sprain, fracture, or dislocation is also one of the factors. Let's move next. Nutritional agents also can disturb the health, students. Like if you eat more, or if you do not take it, or take it very less quantity of carbohydrate, protein, fats, minerals, vitamins, I said it at the start itself. This can also result in nutritional disorders, and that can disturb the health. So anything taken more quantity or anything taken in less quantity can disturb the health. Don't say that, so that a person will be eating so less, but he is not suffering. Why I am only suffering? It may be that you may be eating that substance more in quantity and your body has adjusted to that. So suddenly, if you start decreasing that chemical intake in your body will show up about those signs. But that person was not showing because he is maintaining still as it is. So it depends on person to person. We are habituated to eat up chapatis, rice, dal, sabzis, aram se. But at the same time, in American areas, they will be eating more amount of bread items, burgers, and etc. If they eat up about suddenly chapatis, rotis, like more or less we eat it, their health will get disturbed. Similarly, if we eat daily up about these buns, bread items, and other, our body also will get up disturbed. So whatever we are habituated, our body has become equilibrium on that. Any disturbance in this equilibrium, you taken more or you taken less, that surely disturbs the health. Okay. Biological agents. The disease-causing organisms are called pathogens. They can be virus, bacteria, protozoans, fungi, or helminths, ascelminths, or platyhelminths. Platyhelminths like tapeworm, liver fluke. Ascelminths like Ascaris, Vocaria, Bancrofti, etc. Those are. These are biological agents. See, whatever I have said at the start, the 5 particular things, that only in a detail I am been going there. Are you taking the photographs now? Later, do not say me up again. Transmission. How do this particular contagious disease or the infections will get transmitted? Direct transmission. As you know, in contagious disease, in case of contagious disease like corona, suddenly it spreads. So you can see the left hand side photograph, sanitization has been happening because they feel that it will suddenly spread from one person to another. That's called direct transmission. If 2 people where one is infected with corona, other is not infected, if both are not wearing the mask and are standing very close, sitting very close, staying very close, then there is a full chances that the normal person also will get infected. It's called direct transmission. Directly it will get transmitted. Indirect transmission. Sometimes indirect transmission, when I say, it's like something AIDS. It will transmit only via the blood. So unless and until a wrong step is not taken, like accidentally some health expert has taken up about a syringe, he has given an injection to a HIV positive patient, and the same injection he used it and gave it to another normal person, there is an equal chances it will get transmitted. This is an indirect method. It was not a direct method. So transmission of the diseases can be classified based on direct or indirect. Direct transmission. Pathogens of certain diseases that reach the human body directly without any intermediate agents. without any intermediate agents like contact with infected person, droplet infection. When we sneeze it, our mucus droplets are there up about in the air or might have fallen down on the table, and so when any person touches that, and if he just attaches to his body, then surely he will get. Soil-borne pathogens will be there. Some animal bites, like up about when rabies and other dog bite, cat bite, that will be through placenta. Mother is having up about certain viral diseases. It will easily transfer via the placenta and infect the child also, fetus. This is something to be called as direct transmission. Means there is no vector, there is no agent to transfer this. Okay, tell me, coronavirus comes under which case? Direct or indirect? Direct transmission, is it? Perfect. Okay, again, some of the diseases which you people are knowing it up, I shall take up about that word. What about HIV? What about HIV? Is it direct or indirect? I should say indirect. Correct. Okay, what about a disease called dengue? Can anybody say me? Dengue comes under, it's also viral. All are viral only. No, Nisarga, it cannot be direct. It should be called indirect. Why indirect? Because dengue is transferred via agent like mosquito. Malaria, indirect. Because some agents are there, mosquitoes like here. In case of malaria, dengue, chikungunya, mosquitoes are the agents to carry. Then I will call it indirect. So if you want to avoid dengue, malaria, chikungunya, do one thing. Don't kill the pathogens because we can't see them. Kill all the mosquitoes. If mosquitoes are killed, never that pathogens will come up in the body. Simple. Correct now? So depending on the direct or indirect transmission, steps can be taken. Since corona is a direct transmission, so it's very dangerous. Indirect transmission, pathogens of certain diseases are carried by some intermediate agents. Those agents which are there can be arthropod like mosquito, vehicle borne methods, means some person was suffering with certain infectious disease, he was sneezing and that particles have fallen down on his book, pen, pencil, or some stationary item, or handle or knobs of the particular doors or vehicles. After he goes, if any normal person will come and sit over there and touches this particular items, surely it has got infected. He will get it. That's very dangerous. Hence, it is said in a room, if any person is suffering up about with any particular normal cold and cough, surely up about the sneeze particles, droplets which have fallen, that will be contacted with another person to get it. Vehicle borne methods. Rakshita is asking one question. Sir, when a mosquito carries the pathogen, whether mosquito is not suffering with problem? No. The reason is every pathogen is having his own host cell where he will infect, where he will increase its number. Like suppose a malaria pathogen, Plasmodium, which is there. The female Anopheles mosquito will carry it, and when this mosquito bites the human being, from the biting part through the enzymes, it will add up about the Plasmodium. Now, during that time, Plasmodium didn't infect up about the mosquito. The reason is the cells which are there, or the Plasmodium which is there, required RBCs for eating to get the nourishment. Since the mosquito was not having RBC, it did not infect it. But the time it entered into the human body's presence of RBC, it started increasing its number and started killing the RBCs, thereby resulting into a problem. Getting? So agents which are there, they are purposely selected looking that it will be surely carrying me towards that particular host. Airborne methods. Airborne methods means through the air moving it. Fomite-borne methods. Fomite means something like whatever stationaries we will be using it. Sofas, bed, etc. All that. Okay. Indirect transmission. Some agents are carrying it. That's all. That much you remember. Let's go further. Human carriers also. Human carriers means sometimes human beings only will be the agents to carry. No questions on all that, Vinay. Later we are anyways going to discuss. If everything you want today itself, it's not possible. We should go in order. Chalo, going further. How pathogens are causing the disease? How the pathogen causes the disease? Pathogens, whenever enter in the normal person's body, either they will cause tissue damage, like rabies virus destroys brain tissues, tuberculosis bacteria destroys alveoli. Similarly, coronavirus also destroys alveoli. So if they damage the tissue, then that tissue is not performing its actions. If the tissue is not performing the actions, person suffers with deficiency of that organ. Means that organ is failed. So the person will die. That's tissue damage way problems can happen. Otherwise, the pathogen, when it has entered in the body, releases certain wrong chemicals which is disturbing our body. Then I will call that chemical as toxin secretion. Like whenever a cholera, a bacteria which causes the cholera enters in the body, it will not damage the tissues or cells in our body, but that pathogen releases certain poisonous substances like toxins, due to which we suffer up about with that vomiting and other problems, tetanus toxins, etc. Those are exotoxins, means from the outside they will release, but sometimes they prepare from inside. Endotoxins, like in case of plague, dysentery, meningitis. Meningitis means, in the brain, meninges are there, 3 meninges. So any inflammation, any infections to that is called meningitis in those cases. So how the pathogen gives a disease to the body? Either it will damage the tissues or cells of our body, otherwise releases certain poisonous substances. Either it will just release and go, otherwise it will make the cell to prepare from inside, endotoxin, then that. Thus, once they do, they will multiply in our body. They interfere with our normal activities, resulting in morphological and functional damage. That's called disturbance in the health, disease. The number goes on increasing. As the number increases, they interfere more. Tetanus is a bacterial disease, which is also called as lockjaw disease, where the person is unable to move his muscles. He can't move it. That's tetanus disease. Whenever a person gets up some injury, doctor will give tetanus injection. That is a vaccine, so that you should not suffer with that. So if that bacteria comes, it will release harmful chemicals by which our muscle contraction and relaxation will stop. Means we can't move. It's like dead body, but you are alive. It's very dangerous situation. Take the photograph, students. Parasitism. A close relationship between two different species, where one is a host, means who is going to get an attack from the pathogen, and another is called parasite, who is called pathogen, who is attacking the host, due to which the host is going to suffer. Say example, malaria. Plasmodium is the parasite, he is the pathogen. He will attack the human body. So human body is the host. We are host. Due to which Plasmodium will not get any problem, but we people are suffering. So who is suffering? Host is suffering. Coronavirus. Coronavirus is actually about the parasite, pathogen, and human body is the host for that. Did you get it? This relationship between two different species, where one is a host, another is parasite. And who always get benefited? Parasite will get benefited because he is surviving, his number is increasing, but host will suffer. So any relationship between two particular species, two different species, where one is a host who suffers, another is the parasite who always get up about the benefit, is now called parasitism. It's a relationship. Whenever about a pathogen will attack the host, he knows that the host body's defense system can kill me. Like coronavirus also, when it is attacking, 1.3% people only died, but other all have recovered. It means that 97 point or 98.7% of the time, our body's defense system can kill the parasite. So parasite also knows this. Now you may say, sir, brain it is having or what? I didn't know. It has understood up about the host body in these thousands of years. So this particular parasite will identify that if I have to survive in this person's body, I have to develop certain adaptations. I will give an example. Last year, in the month of November 2020, in China, first time the corona outbreak happened. That was called as alpha variant. In India also it came in the month of November, that is about March 2020. Sorry, 2019 November it came in China. 2020 in the March it came to India. That was also alpha variant. But you might have been hearing up about the news. Alpha variant converted to beta variant. Why? What is that variant means? It means that when this alpha variant virus went on attacking the human body, it understood that I'm unable to survive. The body's defense system is killing me. So it learned it, though it is not having a brain, but the chemicals will identify this. And slowly in the human body itself, it learned it and became about more dangerous variant, which became beta. In some countries, gamma variant came. And last year in October in India, Delta variant came. And because of that in India, second wave was more dangerous. And now this Delta variant in many other countries, almost 110 countries, it is making a problem. Now they say Delta plus variant is there. So adaptations which are there are specialized phenomena where, yes, Vinay, mutations may happen in their genes. Otherwise up about they will learn ki the host is like this, I have to change myself in a better method, due to which they will adapt themselves. Adaptation means becoming more superior compared to earlier type. Like human evolution has happened now. Humans have changed from ape-like to about bee-like. So this is the adaptation, slowly becoming more and more better so that they can survive. So these adaptations for parasitic mode of life are what? How did the pathogens are able to survive? Loss of unnecessary sense organs. If you recall Askelmins, platyhelminths, they don't have sense organs because they know if they are having sense organs and if they stay in the human body or a host body, then due to large amount of disturbance in the host body like temperature, obnoxious chemical released by defense system of the host, I may become disturbed, then I cannot survive. So he said better is to remove my all sense organs. Presence of adhesive organs and suckers so that they can attach to the body. Loss of digestive system. If you can recall about Askelmins and platyhelminths, they don't have digestive system. High reproductive capacity. Once they enter, they don't relax there. They go on producing large amount of their offspring so that their number should be increased up continuously. Like virus, it is said that alpha virus, when it was entering in the human body, it was taking up around 8 days to increase its number. But the same increase in number will happen by Delta variant just within a span of 3 days. That's about the speed in which they will be reproducing up. And thereby, more is their number, more either tissue damage will occur, otherwise, more toxins they will be giving, resulting in loss of the body functions. That's a disease. Pathogens that enter the gut must know a way of surviving in the stomach at low pH and resisting from various dietary enzymes. Correct now? Any pathogen who says that I want to stay in the stomach, then he should know that a human stomach is having acidic pH. So I should adapt myself in such a way that acids need not damage my body parts. Those who stay up in intestine, alkaline, basic pH is there. So they should learn a way that I should not get damaged by this basic pH. So adaptations of a pathogen depends on which environment in the host body he is going to survive. And because of these adaptations, the pathogens are becoming more and more stronger. It is said that if the host body changes, then parasite also will adapt himself so that he can attack that developed host. This is very, very interesting. That is the reason from thousands of years, we are still unable to get rid of malaria, typhoid, and so many diseases. HIV is staying from 1981 till today. It's also able to adapt. Do you know, students? From 1981, when first time HIV virus came up into the human body, it has undergone mutations more than 110 times. It means that every time it is becoming more and more advanced. Same like what you can see in coronavirus now. So far, we are having 5 different variants. It's becoming more faster adaptive. Pradeep, you can ask me this question later. When I will be teaching you immunity, na, body's defense system, medicines, and other, that time you can ask me this question, okay? Now it's not the right time. Hope you have understood, students, what is parasitism and what is adaptation a pathogen will have, and due to which, how problematic it is to control the disease. Like your friend Pradeep was asking, sir, if you prepare the medicines or vaccine and if the pathogen changes, then it is not going to work now. Chalo, I shall answer it this now itself. Yes, surely. Now they are saying that vaccine is prepared, but mostly vaccine may not work if number of mutations in the coronavirus increases in coming days. Till today, that vaccine is working in Delta variant also. But who knows, after some months, if this coronavirus changes so much that will become about a new variant, then body will say that, Arey, this looks entirely different from earlier type. Then that time our vaccines also may not work, our medicines also may not work. We should pray that should not happen. Okay, but I'm saying it, that is a dangerous situation. You can recall now why till today for the HIV or AIDS, medicines have not come, vaccines have not come for HIV or AIDS. The reason is very simple. It is undergoing so many mutations till the time a scientist has prepared a new medicine, already that pathogen has got up changed. So these medicines are becoming ineffective. That's a loss of our economy. But it's good from the point of pathogen, because pathogen also wants to survive. Na? How can we think always from our line? So I can better say that you like youngsters has to come up ahead now in the coming days, where a new technique has to be developed so that before it should get up changed, we should kill them. That's the only method. Is it true? Chalo. Take the photograph. Let's move further. Hope you people are not getting bored, students. No. Chalo. Types of parasites. Parasites are of actually 3 different types. I can classify based on habitat, means where they stay. Let's take one at a time. Ectoparasite. If you can recall, mosquito, bedbugs, head louse, these are all. Leech. It stays on the surface of our body and takes the nourishment. So that parasite which stays on the surface of the host is called ectoparasite. They are not that dangerous. They are never dangerous because they are staying outside. Okay, it is. Endoparasites are more dangerous. Plasmodium, coronavirus, typhoid bacteria, HIV virus, because they enter inside the host body and in the cells they will try to eat or they will try to divide. They are more dangerous, endoparasites. So based on where they stay. Yeah, lice also. Louse is the singular term, lice is the plural. Okay, based on relationship with the host. Relationship with the host, what is that? Obligate parasite, parasite that completely depends on host for its existence. He says that if that host is not there, I can't survive. Coronavirus, I will call it here. Plasmodium, which gives the malaria, I call it here. Because if you say the coronavirus, can you infect about a particular other organism, say about snake, an amphibian, like, then he says I can't, because what I want to attack, those cells are not there in that organism. So I'm obligate, I am completely dependent on this host only. If this host is not there, my existence also is not there. Coronavirus. So it's a big problem that it attacked the human being, and that became a problem. If it would have attacked the other organisms, then we wouldn't have suffered so much, because he says I'm obligate. I will attack only human being. I can't attack others. Facultative parasites. These parasites can lead a free living life. But suppose if it comes in contact with host, he can attack the host also. Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It is actually staying up about in the soil. You know, Mycobacterium tuberculosis gives up TB. It gives up about the TB, but if it enters in the human body. But if you says that no person is having the TB, then maybe up about this TB will never come, no sir, in the nature. No, because TB pathogen is present up free living in the soil. Anytime accidentally that soil, contaminated soil, is consumed by the person in any method, then the TB starts entering in the person, then from one person to another person, like that. But it is not the case in the case of Plasmodium vivax. It is not the case in the case of coronavirus. Suppose if every one of us, all human beings, are treated from corona, like vaccination drive and others, what we are doing. Once zero disease of corona is been the date, then that time this coronavirus is no more, because it's obligate. No person is infected means that pathogen does not exist in the world. Getting? Third, based on number of hosts. Number of hosts. How many host it will use it so that it can survive. Monogenetic. Entamoeba histolytica, who gives up about the problem to be called as amoebic dysentery. It's a parasite that requires only one host. Human being, khatam. It stays up in the water, and from that contaminated water, if a human uses it, it enters in human. Monogenetic parasite. But digenetic parasites are more dangerous. Say up about the Plasmodium malaria pathogen. It first goes up in the mosquito. From the mosquito, it comes in the human being. So if you say that human being, no one is suffering with malaria, sir, from where malaria came? Till then it was staying up in that mosquito's body now. Till the time mosquitoes are there, there is a likely chances that we may suffer with this. Tell me, students, coronavirus comes under ecto or endoparasite? Perfect, endoparasite. Tell me, coronavirus comes under obligate or facultative? Yes, obligate. Tell me whether coronavirus comes under monogenetic or digenetic? Monogenetic, because it's only infecting the human being. Hope now the concept is very, very clear. I might have written the examples here pertaining to the textbook, but speaking with our real-time examples are also important, na? Okay. Okay, this is tomorrow's class. I completed whatever I wanted to teach up about for the today's, and yes, that's good. 11:56. Already our today's time part also has been completed. What I say is, still the material is not there. I will just call up them and say them about to release the material. Whatever I have taught, this is very easy now, students. I feel that aram se up about NCERT after reading and these photographs, you can aram se solve that MCQs, so that I can better focus on proper teaching to you. Hope you do not mind it. And you people are meritorious students. You do not require about to solve such type of MCQs. Very difficult questions, aram se you have solved. So be present tomorrow with a good strength. Say to your friends also to join good numbers so that they can get benefited. Okay. Till then, thank you. Study well. Bye-bye.